Breaking news! Things are heating up behind the scenes at the Baltimore Ravens, and it involves Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I'll tell you everything that's going on in a moment, but first, make sure you've hit that like button, but only do so if you believe Lamar Jackson deserves the NFL MVP award. If possible, comment something like, "Go Jackson! Go Ravens!" The NFL MVP race between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is finally coming to an end, and for Ravens fans, it's been an emotional roller coaster. All season long, debates have raged about who deserves the honor more. Was it Lamar's undeniable playmaking and leadership skills, or was it Josh Allen's signature wins that put him over the top? The wait is finally over. Tonight, the NFL officially announces the MVP winner, and this is the moment Ravens fans have been waiting for. Early in the season, Lamar Jackson seemed like the clear favorite. Despite the Ravens' shaky 0-2 start, he quickly turned things around, delivering electrifying performances that reminded everyone why he'd won an MVP in the past. But then Josh Allen made his move. He led the Bills to big wins over big-name teams like the Kansas City Chiefs and Detroit Lions, boosting his MVP stock. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Allen was now the favorite. Then came Lamar Jackson's late-season resurgence. While Allen cooled off, Jackson only got better, finishing the year strong and putting the conversation back where it started. The odds swung in Lamar's favor again, but not without constant debate. Some analysts leaned toward Allen, citing his signature wins, while others argued that Lamar's consistency, efficiency, and leadership set him apart. Things got even more interesting when the All-Pro teams were announced. The same voters who decide the MVP put Lamar Jackson on the first-team All-Pro list while leaving Josh Allen off. Historically, this has been a strong indicator of who will win the MVP, making Lamar the favorite yet again. But even after that, the betting odds fluctuated, shifting back and forth between the two quarterbacks. Now, after all the speculation, it's finally time for the answer. Regardless of the outcome, this MVP race has proven one thing: Lamar Jackson is undeniably one of the best players in the league. His ability to elevate the Ravens despite injuries, tough matchups, and relentless scrutiny shows just how valuable he is. If he wins, it'll be his second MVP in a row and his third overall, a feat that puts him in truly elite company. If he loses, the Ravens will have to use that as fuel for next season, knowing that their quarterback is still playing at an elite level. But the bigger picture remains: the Ravens and their fans want more than just an MVP trophy. They're still waiting for that Super Bowl. The loss to the Bills was painful, and seeing Buffalo lose to the Chiefs afterward only made it worse. Someone is going home empty-handed this season, and for Ravens fans, the only real prize that matters is the Lombardi Trophy. So now it's your turn. Do you think Lamar Jackson deserves to win the MVP over Josh Allen? What do you think this means for the Ravens moving forward? Let me know in the comments, and let's talk about it. The MVP debate has been exhausting for Ravens fans, but beyond the award itself, the real focus now shifts to how the team builds for the future. Winning an MVP is great, but Ravens fans know all too well that individual accolades don't equal championships. So while Lamar Jackson's potential win would be historic, the bigger question is, what comes next for Baltimore? One of the key discussions in Ravens circles right now is the team's offseason priorities. With the season officially over, the front office has tough decisions to make. Do they go after a dominant pass rusher to finally give the defense that Terrell Suggs-level edge it's been missing? Or do they double down on offense and get Lamar the elite game-breaking receiver fans have been begging for? The name that keeps coming up for pass rusher is Max Crosby. Ravens fans have been dreaming about adding a true game wrecker on the defensive line for years. While the team has seen flashes from guys like Odefoa and Kyle Van Noy, they still lack that one dominant player who can single-handedly change games. Crosby, with his relentless motor and ability to take over, would be a perfect fit. On the offensive side, the conversation revolves around DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, and Cooper Kupp. Ravens fans have seen flashes from Zay Flowers, and Rashad Bateman has potential, but this offense has never had that dominant, go-to receiver who can win one-on-one matchups in crunch time. Imagine Lamar Jackson having a true number one target, a guy who can make plays even when covered. That's something Baltimore has lacked for years, and it could be the missing piece. Then there's the question of the offensive line. Losing two starters could be significant, and if the Ravens want to keep Lamar upright and maximize Derrick Henry's impact, they need reinforcements. A veteran like Zach Martin or bringing back Kevin Zeitler could stabilize things, but is that enough? And what about David Ojabo? The former second-round pick has barely seen the field due to injuries. Some believe it's time to trade him and move on, while others think he still has untapped potential. And speaking of trades, there's speculation about Khalil Mack. With Chuck Pagano joining the Ravens as the secondary coach, could Baltimore make a move for a veteran pass rusher like Mack, who thrived under Pagano in Chicago? Or would they rather go all in for a younger, more dominant force like Crosby? All of this brings us back to Lamar Jackson. This is his team, and this is his moment. If he wins the MVP tonight, it solidifies what Ravens fans have known all along. He's one of the best to ever play the game. But for Lamar, and for Baltimore, the ultimate goal is still out there. The Ravens came heartbreakingly close to the Super Bowl this year, and falling short only makes the hunger for next season even greater. So now we wait. Will Lamar Jackson take home his second straight MVP? And more importantly, what moves will the Ravens make this offseason to ensure that next year, it's not just an MVP trophy they're celebrating, but a Super Bowl victory? Let me know your thoughts. Should the Ravens prioritize a game-changing receiver, a dominant pass rusher, or offensive line help? And do you think Lamar will take home the MVP? Let's talk about it. With the MVP announcement looming, Ravens fans are on edge. After a season full of debates, shifting odds, and media narratives, the decision finally comes down to the votes. If Lamar Jackson wins, it will be a historic achievement, his third MVP overall and his second in back-to-back seasons. That would put him in elite company, joining legends like Peyton Manning and Brett Favre. But if the award goes to Josh Allen, it will only add fuel to the fire for Ravens fans who feel Lamar has been overlooked and underappreciated by the national media for years. But regardless of the outcome, the Ravens have bigger things to focus on. This team is built to contend, and this offseason will determine whether they can finally take that last step toward a Super Bowl. After another deep playoff run that fell short, it's clear Baltimore needs to make some key moves if they want to capitalize on this championship window. One of the biggest offseason questions is who the Ravens will prioritize in free agency and trades. Will they go all in on defense, adding a dominant pass rusher like Max Crosby or Khalil Mack? Or will they focus on giving Lamar Jackson the best possible weapons, potentially making a blockbuster move for DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, or Cooper Kupp? Then there's the offensive line situation. With key players potentially leaving, how do the Ravens rebuild in the trenches? Protecting Lamar and giving Derrick Henry room to run will be crucial next season, and Baltimore may need to invest heavily in top-tier linemen to keep their offense running at full strength. And what about the Ravens' defensive identity? Baltimore's defense has been one of the best in the league, but late-season struggles exposed some weaknesses. Adding another dominant pass rusher could elevate this unit from great to unstoppable, especially with Roquan Smith leading the charge at linebacker. This offseason will also test Eric DeCosta's ability to make bold moves. Ravens fans have seen him pull off some great trades in the past, but will he finally swing for the fences and bring in a true game changer? Baltimore has the roster to compete right now, but they need to be aggressive in upgrading key areas. The Pro Bowl situation also caught fans' attention. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry both opted out of the game, a clear signal that they have bigger priorities. It's not about meaningless exhibitions, it's about getting ready for another deep playoff run next season. Ultimately, while the MVP race has been exciting, the only trophy that really matters is the Lombardi Trophy. The Ravens have been building toward this moment for years. They have the quarterback, they have the coach, they have the foundation of a championship-caliber roster. But now, it's time to make the right moves to finish the job. So what do you think? Will Lamar Jackson win the MVP? And more importantly, what moves do the Ravens need to make this offseason to finally bring another Super Bowl to Baltimore? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about it.